We are back with another episode of Erotically Empowered. I am so happy to have you here. I am, of course, your host, Ali Gamolka. And on this show, we discuss all things pleasure, intimacy, innate feminine power, and unapologetic confidence. And today, we are going to talk about something that you may not even realize has been holding you back from accessing your innate pleasure, living a life of turn on, living a life led by desire. And that is your constant need to be doing more. Now, this is not your fault. We live in a patriarchal society. We have all been led to believe that the way the world works and should work is by thinking, more hustle, more doing, more analyzing, more logic. And that way of being is not what us as women were created for. That is the masculine way of being, which is the doing. We are the divine feminine. We are the being. We were created to live through being, through feeling, through flow, creativity, intuition. But this world is a patriarchal world. It is a very masculine-minded led world. So we have been led to believe that that is how we need to be, whether we realize it or not. And so as we grew into women, we became more and more disconnected from our innate divine pleasure because we kept thinking we needed to do more. And we spend our days up here in the mind, always thinking of the next step and what we got to do, thinking that we need to hustle, we need to prove, perform. And that has taken us further and further and further away from the being. Our deepest pleasure as women, our natural state of turn on where we are naturally led by pleasure, led by desire, turned on, meaning we feel it in our bodies. We embody what we feel. Our bodies are sensitized. We feel, we are not shut off. But the more that we proceed to live in our mind, the doing, the more we are disconnected from here, the body, which is the being. Stay with me here because this is super, super powerful. And when you can understand this and you can begin to make these changes in your life, you're going to start to come to life. You're going to start to sensitize your body. You're going to start to lead with pleasure. Things are going to feel easier. Now, that's not saying you're going to have an easy life. You are not here for an easy life. You are here for the human experience, which with all its ups and downs. But easy as in you come back to intuition. You allow your intuition to guide you rather than thinking and creating more stress and more disconnect from yourself. But your body, your pleasure does not exist in the mind. Your pleasure exists in the body, in your ability to be present in your body, in your ability to feel from the inside with awareness and feel sensation, your ability to open your heart, thus opening your body. Your pleasure lives here. And the more you are trying to do to get there, the more you are staying in your mind, which is disconnecting you from your pleasure. So the answer, the question should then be, how do I be? How do I connect more to my body and the divine goddess within? Not What do I need to do to feel more pleasure? What do I need to do to become this turned on magnetic woman, alive in her desire, alive in erotic fire? If that is your question, that's okay. But that is coming from the masculine led way of being. And if you continue to try thinking of what you need to do to get there, you're staying disconnected from the being. It is never about doing. It is about coming back to being, coming back to presence, coming back to the body. And the more you do this with little steps every day, the easier it becomes, and the more you start to come to life. But the masculine mind, your mind, the way you have been conditioned to believe is the right way to do things, is going to fight you, okay? This is going to put up a fight because it feels uncomfortable, and it's trying to keep you safe, quote unquote safe, because this is how you've always done things. It's going to tell you, you don't have time for this. This is not a priority. You should be focusing on cleaning the house. You should be focusing on the children. You've got to be more productive at work. You're not doing enough. You're not successful enough yet. When you do that, then you can have time. Whereas when you shift and understand that every single thing in your life as a divine woman is an extension of you, then you realize that everything in your life is going to change and improve when you drop out of that mind, bring the energy from the mind that tells you have to be doing and doing and doing, and come back to the body. Come back to the body, bring the energy back into the body, back to where your sensations live, where your intuition lives, where your feeling exists. We sensitize the body to its natural state. And the more that you can do this, the more you will start to awaken. But that masculine mind is going to fight. It's going to fight and tell you that you need to do more. But you've got to realize that this constant need, this constant doing is exactly what has shut you off from your fire, from your innate pleasure, your innate turn on. We are not the same as the masculine, okay? The masculine energy is the doing, the logic, the decisiveness, the focus. Now, we have both masculine and feminine energy in us. Everyone does. But as a divine feminine being, we are more connected to our feminine energy. And it's when we are overpolarized and in the masculine that we disconnect from where the pleasure lives. How can you expect your body, yourself, to be in overdrive every day, constantly doing, and then expect to go into pleasure and feel what's going on in your body when you've never spent your day living from your body? You've created this distrust. You've switched off. You've switched off to the sensations. You've switched off to the wisdom. You've switched off to the erotic fire. How in the world can you expect to feel your desire, to feel your turn on when you're living up here, when you're always thinking of the next step that you got to do? And I get it. I was very much, I've spoken before, very much living from my masculine energy many years ago. And even in recent years, I have been very much disconnected from my own divine feminine. And this has been a beautiful journey coming back coming back, and it makes sense now. It makes sense to me how I struggled, not just with pleasure, but also with my mental health, how things weren't clicking and flowing in my life because I wasn't connected to flow. I was trying to lead from up here, from the mind, and I was taking the energy away from where my actual power lives. Your greatest pleasure, your greatest turn on exists in your body. And the way to feel that is to do less. It's to be more by being. Do less, be more. Meaning you are the being. You are connecting to what is present here in this moment. And you may like to just drop in right now as I speak and ask yourself, what's going on in my body right now? What's going on? Perhaps you don't feel anything, and that's perfectly okay. And your journey, you are exactly where you are meant to be. But it's noticing that, okay, perhaps there's this quietness within because I haven't been connecting. And it makes sense that, I'm feeling somewhat disconnected from my pleasure or desire or erotic fire because I'm never checking in. I'm never connecting here. I'm not living from my body. I'm always thinking of the next step that I got to do. And thinking of that next step that I got to do rather than connecting into yourself internally and asking, what is the next step here? If I was living, ask yourself this now. You may like to close your eyes. If I was living as the turned on, desire-led woman that I came here to be, what would be different in my life right now? How would I be showing up differently? What would the next step be? What does she desire? What does she desire? And this is how you start to bring her to life. This is how you start to turn her on and awaken. You stop escaping. You stop looking for the next step and the next thing you have to do, and you start being. You start connecting to the next step by checking in and honoring your desire and what it is that you're being called for from within. The more you switch off to what you're being called for within, the more you switch off to that desire that is trying to lead you, the more you're switching off from your body. And that state of turn on that you came here to live in. Now, right now, you may struggle to feel this erotic fire. You may struggle to feel this natural intuition, this divine goddess within, because it doesn't feel safe, because your body has closed and you don't have this safety. You haven't created safety in your body to stay and to listen and to trust. And that's okay too. You are absolutely not alone there. And I want you to know that you can absolutely create safety in your body from whatever point you are at currently. You can begin to create this safety. And the key here is connecting to your heart and creating safety through nervous system regulation. Now, even if, so you may be thinking, oh, I haven't experienced significant trauma or any, sexual trauma, so I should be safe in my body. I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. that doesn't mean that you have a regulated nervous system. A regulated nervous system means that you are able to go through the different stages of fight, flight, and freeze when things happen, and then your body naturally regulates, comes back to your natural state of being, to, a regulated system and a state of calmness and peace. But if you, for whatever reason, have never known or been able to do this within, you may very well be living stuck in that survival mode, stuck in flight, fight, or freeze. Again, this is a huge part of my own journey that I have been journeying even further into in recent times. And I have so profoundly realized the power of intentionally regulating your nervous system. And this is going to be an ongoing, theme throughout these episodes, because of the power of regulating your nervous system and creating safety this way, to opening yourself to pleasure. You cannot, as I've spoken about in the episode of the pleasure state and survival state, you cannot feel your deepest pleasure. You cannot expand into your deepest pleasure if you are in survival mode. You cannot. You can feel pleasure in survival mode, but you cannot access your deepest pleasure. You cannot come to life as that turned on woman. You need to, not need, I hate saying that. I don't like saying need, because then it's like this pressure. But there's an opportunity there to open yourself to learning how to regulate and bring yourself back down into that steady, calm state where your body is naturally able to regulate from those intense emotions, where your body goes into flight, freeze, or fight, back down. And we do this. There are so many different ways, and I encourage you to explore what works for you. But we do this through practices such as, breathing practices, embodiment, which is huge. Again, I'm going to journey more into this because of the potency of becoming that embodied, wild, turned on woman. But embodiment means being with what is in the body, feeling it, and allowing yourself to connect to that energy so it can transmute in the ways that it needs to and release from your body, and then you can naturally come down to regulated state. When we are constantly disconnecting from our body, we are ignoring what is going on. Okay, so something has caused us stress in the day, and we don't connect to what's going on inside. We try and think our way out of it. Yeah, no, okay, I shouldn't be stressed. It's all good. But then our internal state doesn't change. All right. Our internal state, we're still in that state of stress, but we're ignoring what's going on here. So we're creating numbness. We're disconnecting from what's going on inside. And then we go into pleasure and wonder why we're not feeling anything, because we're in this survival state here. We've created this disconnect. We've created this numbness to ignore what's going on. And instead of trying to think your way out of it, you need to be with it. You need to be with your body in order to help create this safety and to regulate your nervous system. And a super easy, powerful way to do this is, okay, right now, ask yourself, what's alive in my body right now? And again, this may be hard to tune into if you're living very much in your mind, and that's okay. But you may need to prompt yourself by asking, okay, is it sadness? Is there anger in me? Ask yourself what's going on. And then ask yourself, how does this energy want to move? And put a piece of music on or instrumental beats, something that reflects that energy inside, and move like that energy. This is not about sexy movement. This is not about sexy, sensual flow. This right here is moving as that energy within. You are being fully present in that moment. In this moment, you are drawing your energy out of the mind. You are pulling it back into the body to feel. And you are feeling, and you are allowing that energy to be expressed. You are embodying it fully. And you keep going until you feel complete. And perhaps you may be so numb that you don't know what's going on. So you simply put a piece of music on, close your eyes, and you ground yourself, and you ask yourself, how does my body want to move right now? And you move. Again, this is not about sexy dance. Sexy dance is incredible and another beautiful way to connect to your feminine flow. But if you are trying to bypass what's actually alive by forcing yourself to be sexy, you're staying disconnected from that turn on. That turn on in you, that turn on, which means you are in that receptive, open state of being. You are open to pleasure. You are led by desire. You are just alive. That exists when you are fully present with whatever is going on. You are alive to the present moment. You move with the present moment. You move with what's going on inside you. Okay, so that embodiment practice, and that has been a favorite of mine for a little while now, and it is incredible how the more you do this, the more you notice and feel the shifts, and you start to crave that way of living so much that when you catch yourself living, and you will, okay, you're human. You are a human being. You're not here to be perfect. You're not a robot. You're going to catch yourself living in your mind and in the masculine way of doing. You'll want to pull yourself back because you'll realize that does not feel good. That does not feel good. And you will come back to your body and go, okay, what's alive for me right now? How can I connect to this to create this safety, to build on this safety, to regulate my nervous system? And you will feel the difference. You will feel the shifts when you do this. You will start to come to life. You will start to sensitize your body. But that exists in the being with what is here in this moment, not trying to think your way out of it. If you want to feel more pleasure, you need to be. Not do, you need to be. You need to be more being. Doesn't even make sense. Rather than do more. And you need to, again, not need to. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right saying I need to. So I apologize when I say it. But, you can look at this as checking in. Checking in. Make this commitment to yourself right now. Throughout the day, asking yourself, you may like to place a hand on your heart, a hand on your womb, hand on pussy, and say, what is the next step here? What does she desire? What do I desire? And do that. do that, the more you are honoring that, the more you're building on that safety, and your body begins to open for you. Your body begins to open and soften and melt into its natural way of being, which is the feeling. The divine feminine was meant to feel. You were meant to feel it all. You were meant to feel it all, not just the little parts. And if you're trying to just feel the little parts and shut off from the rest, you are never going to feel the full extent of what you came here to feel. But the divine feminine is a feeling being. She's meant to feel. She came here to feel. You came here to feel. You came here to feel freaking alive, led by your desire, led by your pleasure, led by your turn on. You came here to feel turned on, alive in your body, navigating life through the ups and the downs, not staying in the stuck in the survival state from the ups, but being able to move through it all. Just so in tune with your body, so in tune with life, so in tune with flow and creativity. This is who you came here to be as the divine feminine. This is who you were born to be and how you were born to be. And it's this masculine mind state that has disconnected you from that. That's it. That's it. And it's simply a coming back to remembering that your body was always meant to lead. Your body knows, and your body will open for you when you begin to understand and come back. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope that this has sparked some more remembering within you of who the F you came here to be and what you came here to feel. And I hope you start to integrate these things, whatever feels good for you, of coming back to you, and you begin to notice, oh my God, just how you start to come to freaking life. Thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying this moment, this delicious moment of activation with me. Have an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Mwah.